man absolutely hated his wife's cat and decided to get rid of him one day by driving him 20 blocks from his home and leaving him at the park. As he was getting home, the cat was walking up the driveway. The next day, he decided to drive the cat 40 blocks away. He put the beast out and headed home. Driving back up his driveway, there was the cat. He kept taking the cat further and further, and the cat would always beat him home. At last, he decided to drive a few miles away, turn right, then left, past the bridge, then right again, and another right until he reached what he thought was a safe distance from his home and left the cat there. Hours later, the man calls home to his wife. "Jen, is the cat there?" "Yes," the wife answers. "Why do you ask?" Frustrated, the man answered, "Put that son of a on the phone. I'm lost and need directions." A monocle walks into a bar. After a few drinks, he starts to feel pretty good and a little uncoordinated. He reaches for a cigarette, but the bartender stops him. "Sorry, buddy, but due to city ordinances, we don't allow smoking in here. You'll have to step outside to smoke." So the monocle hops off the bar stool and grabs his cigarettes to head outside. Meanwhile, a second monocle emerges from the bathroom. They bump into each other as they cross paths and fall to the floor, hopelessly entangled. They try to get free, but the more they struggle, the more tangled they become. The bartender looks down on this travesty and shakes his head. "Hey, you two," he shouts. "Stop making spectacles of yourselves." So a man goes to confess and admits to committing all 7 deadly sins in a single day. He confesses, "I was trying to save up for my dream house, but someone bought it before I could. I got so furious and jealous that I disguised myself as a utility worker and went to his place while he was at work. I ended up seducing his wife, and while she was in the shower, I took all the cash and jewelry I could find. Then I raided the pantry, ate everything in sight, and took naps on and off until just before he came home." The priest asks, "And what about pride? You seem to have left that one out." The man replies, "Why do you think I'm here bragging to you?" A guy wakes up with a massive hangover and stumbles into the kitchen, where he finds his wife. "Hey, honey, did you upgrade the bathroom?" He asks. "Why do you ask?" She replies, curious. "Well, I opened the bathroom door, the light turned on by itself, and a cool breeze blew right into my face. It was amazing." His wife glares at him and says, "So you're the idiot who peed in the fridge last night." A man poked his head into a barber shop and asked, "How long until I can get a haircut?" Glancing at the full shop, the barber replied, "Around 2 hours." The man left. A week later, the same guy stuck his head in the shop and asked, "How long before I can get a haircut?" The barber looked around the shop and said, "About an hour and a half." The guy left. The barber turned to his friend and said, "Hey, Bob, do me a favor. Follow him and see where he goes. He keeps asking how long he has to wait for a haircut, but he never comes back." A little while later, Bob returned to the shop, laughing hysterically. The barber asked, "So, where does he go when he leaves?" Bob looked up, wiped the tears from his eyes and said, "Your house." A farmer buys a new rooster to replace his old one and puts him in the chicken coop. The new rooster walks up arrogantly to the old rooster and says, "Out of the way, old man. These are my hens now. Your time is done." The old rooster rolls his eyes. "All right, fine. I get it. I'm old, but I still have some living left to do and won't give up my hens so easily. There's only room in this coop for one of us. Let's settle it this way. We race around the coop, the winner stays and the other goes." The young rooster agrees to the challenge. The old rooster says, "But listen, I'm not the young one I once was. You have to give me a 5-second head start to make it fair." The young rooster agrees to these terms. When race time comes, the young rooster counts down to start it. 3, 2, 1, go. The old rooster takes off running, giving it his all. After 5 seconds, the new rooster takes off after him. As they round the first turn of the race, the new rooster is already about to catch up to the old one, right on his heels. The farmer is sitting on his porch watching. He stands up, grabs his shotgun, and shoots the young rooster, leaving only some blood and feathers. He says, "Dang it! That's the 3rd gay rooster I've bought this month." A man walks into a bar and orders a free drink. The bartender says, "Sorry, mate, you have to pay up. I can't just serve a free drink." The man then whispers, "I have a 10-inch piano player in my pocket and he can play a little jig for you. If I can prove that, can I get the drink then?" The bartender ponders, but then agrees. The man pulls out the piano player and he plays the entertainer before hopping back in the man's pocket. Baffled, the bartender gives him the promised free drink. The man whispered, "I also have a magic genie who was the one that gave me this piano player. If I let him grant you one wish, can I get another free drink?" The bartender, already in shock over the tiny piano man in his pocket, agrees. The man pulls out a lamp, and out comes a genie, ready to grant wishes. The bartender exclaims, "I want $1 million!" And all of a sudden, 1,000,000 ducks enter the bar. "Ducks! I didn't want ducks!" The bartender shouts. The man looks at him, dead in the eyes, and says, "You think I wanted a 10-inch pianist?"